College application deadlines are looming, so it's a very stressful time for high school seniors. CBS News correspondent Michelle Gielan is here with some tips from students who just went through the process. Hi.
Hi, good morning. Well, colleges are already reporting record numbers of applications, making the admission process more competitive than ever, which means your application has to be the best it can be. College athletics, fun parties,
pattern recognition,
and of course, hundreds of classes to choose from. All this and more awaits the graduating senior class of '09 when they get to college, if they get in. The first hurdle, college applications.
I obsess a whole lot about college applications.
Tip number 1, don't rely on anyone else to help you.
A lot of my friends had horror stories because instead of doing their applications themselves, they had their guidance counselor do it. Their applications didn't get off in time.
Tip number 2, the essay on your application really can make a difference.
You definitely have to make yourself stand out in the college process, and I think the essay is where you should focus that on.
Don't write to impress. Write what comes to your heart, and they give you multiple choices to talk about. Write about what's really important to you.
Tip number 3, don't undersell or oversell who you are.
Just ask your parents, ask your friends and your family, anybody that's close to you that knows you best, to tell you more about yourself, how they see you, and tell you positive things about you that an admissions counselor would want to see.
Tips number 4 and 5, don't limit the number of schools you apply to and visit as many as you can.
Apply to as many schools as you think you need to.
I didn't make as many visits as I would have liked to, and in the end that led to me putting in 18 applications.
Tip number 6, stay organized.
When it comes down to it, if you realize that there's something missing on your application on December 30th, you're in trouble. And the schools are not very sympathetic to missed deadlines.
And tip number 7, don't sweat it if you don't get into your first choice.
Wherever you end up, that's where you're supposed to end up. You will be happy.
I think we're all too young to know what's best for us, and the only way you find out is through experience.
And perhaps most important, please use spell check and grammar check. You don't want to send those silly mistakes off to the
That's
colleges.
my pet peeve. That would be awful. What did these students say, Michelle, about the interview?
They gave great advice in saying that it's a great chance for you to set yourself apart in person. And actually, as someone who did those interviews with college students or college applicants last year, I noticed there was one student, he came to me and he had great questions about the university. He sold himself really well. I wrote a glowing recommendation for him. Now, on the opposite end, I had a young woman. She wanted the interview. When I emailed her and I said, what time do you want to do this, whatever, she blew me off, which doesn't bode well for her.
Not good. I have a 3-year-old, and applying for kindergarten is hard enough. Seriously, in Manhattan, I can't imagine even getting to this college phase.
It's so competitive, and there's a lot of pressure on people to get into the Harvard, Yale, Princeton, but really, wherever you end up, that's where you're meant to be.
Exactly right. Michelle Gielan, thank you so much.